Hello, Mr. Heap here, and I'm here to explain the progress tracker. You may have done this in 6th grade in integrated science, but this progress tracker is slightly different. Now, in this class, the first 2 units that we do, Python Intro and 2D Drawing with Python, those are required to do in order. But then once you get through those units, there's a bunch of units here that you can do in any order. Now, the first unit, Python Intro, has 94 steps right now. By the time you take this class, I'm sure there's going to be a different number of steps. I change and modify it all the time. Now, at the beginning of each hour, you're going to see how far you got. So if I take a look at this, maybe you got up to number 19. And I guess if you did 19, this should have some answer in here, but bear with me here. So if you got up to 19, you'd go to steps completed and then type in 19. So in the Python intro, notice it changed its color from not started yet to in progress. That means you're working on this right now. So let's say if you got all the way through and you went to 94, then that means it turns green because you've completed that particular unit. So, but let's say we're at 19 and we're working on that unit. Then what we do is we go to our data table. So if you look on the bottom of the screen, there's a tab that says data table, and then you go to the day that it is. Now this is not going to work out perfect because today is not Monday the 19th. I'm doing this a different day, a couple days earlier. So if I type in 19 here, like I should, that you shouldn't have an error here, and you'll get a red notice here whenever you make a mistake or it disagrees with what you're saying. If you can't figure out why you have red here, let me know and I will work on it, and that means that there's something we need to figure out. But so if the first day we had 19, and let's say on Tuesday you got up to 23, and the next day you got up to 31, and then 45, and then let's do 49. So each time we are just typing in where we're going to start each day. And as we do this, on the far right, if we go to semester graph, you'll see this blue is where you are, and the red is where I expect you to keep up with. Now this red line is what I call the minimum progress line. I want everybody to be at or above that line. If you fall below the line for some reason, that's all right. Work with me and work with other people to see if we can get you back to or above that line. Now, there are some days that you don't make progress because you're doing something else. I have a whole tab here called Project Work Time. This is for days that you're not going up any steps. Maybe you're working on a project. So the first unit, Python Basics and Text-Based Games, once you get through all the steps, you'll have an opportunity to make a project. Some people spend 1 to 2 days on the project. Other people might spend a week or 2, depending on how complicated their program is going to be. So this allows you to say, I spent 4 days on the project. And when you do that, it's going to ask you to have a higher number here. So it will count and for your number of steps, even though you didn't make any steps that day. And I tried to list out all the reasons why you would ever need this. So whenever you're not making progress, so maybe if you were doing a group project that day, if there was a snow day, there's unplugged days that we'll do in the semester. If you spent the whole day filling out a rubric, or if you were just absent, you would put another number here, and then that will contribute. It'll add points to put in here. Now, each time when we put our numbers in, it will tell us over here what number should be put in. Once we start adding things to project work time, or we get to the second unit, we're going to need this number to keep going up, and the spreadsheet is going to keep track for you. That will make more sense as we move on to our second and third